Welcome to EPG Pathshala lectures on numerical methods. Earlier 9 modules we have discussed the various techniques for interpolation and techniques for curve fitting also. Both these techniques are used for function approximation as well, but now here we are going to consider function approximation as our main focus and what kind of different techniques are available for function approximation other than interpolation and curve fitting. That is what we will be discussing in this particular module. An evaluation of an arbitrary function f on a digital computer involves approximating this function by a polynomial function p. This is because computational capabilities of digital computers are restricted to arithmetic operations, and evaluation of a polynomial function involves only basic arithmetic operations. Interpolation and curve fitting techniques can be used for function approximation. However, both these techniques use finite number of data points obtained either by evaluating a function to be approximated at finite number of arguments or obtained experimentally. Such approximations are completely dependent on these finite data values and do not use any other properties of the function to be approximated. Also, the interpolating polynomial is considered to pass through the given data points, whereas least square polynomial minimizes the total square error, and hence the approximating polynomial obtained by interpolation or least square curve fitting techniques may not have much control over the error mod fx minus px at some points in the domain of approximations. Thus, though these techniques are efficient for estimating a functional relationship from the available finite data points, they are not adequate for function approximation. The main focus in function approximation is to find a polynomial p that minimizes the maximum of individual error, that is mod fx minus px, and x in the domain of approximation. So, we try to compute error at each point in the domain of approximation and we try to maximize that, and then we want to find out a p which will minimize this maximum error. For this purpose, two techniques, namely Taylor's or Maclaurin series approximation and approximation by Chebyshev polynomials, are discussed in this particular module. For Taylor's polynomial approximation, the main tool is the Taylor's theorem, which is a well known theorem in calculus, which says or which states as follows. Suppose that function f has n plus 1 continuous derivatives on the interval a comma b, and suppose that x0 belongs to ab, then for every x belonging to interval ab, there exists a number cx in between x0 and x such that fx is equal to capital P n x plus R n x, where capital P n x is given by fx0 plus f dash x0 into x minus x0 plus f double dash x0 upon 2 factorial into x minus x0 whole square plus fn x0 upon n factorial into x minus x0 raised to n. So, we are taking sum up to this nth term. So, this becomes a nth degree polynomial function, and Rnx is given by fn plus 1 at Cx. So, n plus 1th derivative at Cx divided by n plus 1 factorial into x minus x0 raised to n plus 1. The capital Pnx is called the nth Taylor's polynomial for f about x0, and Rnx is called the remainder term or the truncation error. The number Cx cannot be explicitly determined, and realistic bound on truncation error on some interval can be obtained by finding the maximum value of fn plus 1 on that interval. The infinite series obtained by taking limit of capital Pnx as n tend to infinity is called the Taylor series for f about x0. The exact values of fx is the sum of the series provided the infinite series converges at x, for which it is necessary that Rnx tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Thus, the function f can be successively approximated by Taylor's polynomial Pnx. The approximation goes on improving if the truncation error Rnx tends to 0. If x0 is equal to 0, then the Taylor's polynomial or series, or are called, actually is oblique are called Maclaurin's polynomial or series. So, Taylor's polynomial at x 0 equal to 0 is Maclaurin's polynomial at x 0 at 0 is Maclaurin's polynomial for f, and same is the case for the series. These Maclaurin's polynomials are given as under. So, P n x will be f 0 plus f dash 0 into x plus f double dash 0 upon 2 factorial into x square, and go on summing up to this up to nth term, that is f n 0 upon n factorial into x raised to n. And R n x in that case will be f n plus 1 at C x upon n plus 1 factorial x raised to n plus 1, and C x will be some point in the interval 0 and x. Thus, the Taylor's polynomial P n x approximates f in a small interval around the point x 0, whereas Maclaurin's polynomial approximates f in a small interval around the point 0. Also, since the x minus x 0 is minimum at x 0 equal to b minus a by 2, and maximum value of x minus x 0 over the interval this a b will be minimum at b minus if x 0 is equal to b minus a by 2, in approximating f x by Taylor's polynomial of degree n on the interval a b, it is preferable to use x 0 as b minus a by 2. So, what we are saying here is that if x 0 is not given to you in advance, and if you want to approximate f by polynomial on the interval a b, then we can choose x 0 as b minus a by 2, as that will give me the least value of the maximum of mod x minus x 0. Now, we take example 1. For example, let us compute the 4th degree polynomial approximation to the function f x equal to e raised to cos x. 1 for x belonging to minus 0.5 to 0.5, and 2 for x belonging to pi by 4 comma 3 pi by 4. Since the interval is around x 0 equal to 0, first interval is around x 0 equal to 0, Maclaurin's polynomial p 4 x is used for approximation. For that, up to 4th order derivatives of f at x equal to 0 are computed as follows: f 0 equal to 2.7183, f dash x equal to minus sin x into e raised to cos x comma f dash 0, and therefore f dash 0 is equal to 0. Then f double dash x is equal to minus cos x into e raised to cos x plus sin x whole square into e raised to cos x, and therefore f double dash 0 is equal to minus e, that is minus 2.7183. f triple dash x is equal to sin x into e raised to cos x plus 1.5 into sin 2x into e raised to cos x minus sin x cube into e raised to cos x, and therefore f triple dash 0 will be 0, and similarly f 4x will be cos x into e raised to cos x minus sin whole square into e raised to cos x plus 3 cos 2x into e raised to cos x minus 6 into sin x whole square into cos x e raised to cos x plus sin raised to 4 e raised to cos x, and therefore f 4 0 will be equal to 4 into e, that is 10.8732. These derivatives are used using elementary calculus. Putting these values in 3, we get the desired Maclaurin's polynomial as p 4 x is equal to 2.7183 minus 2.7183 by 2 into x square plus 10.8732 by 24 into x raised to 4. The two terms are not there, x and power x cube terms are not there, because f dash is 0 and f triple dash is 0. The values of this polynomial at some point x equal to 0.12 we can compute by using this polynomial, and that gives me the value as 2.698. We get estimated value at x equal to 0.12 as 2.716437, and since f exact value of f at 0.12 is 2.698, error is equal to 0.17637. Second part of this example, in this case the approximating polynomial would be a Taylor's polynomial of degree 4 around the point x 0 equal to pi by 2. As your interval is pi by 4 to 3 pi by 4, its midpoint is pi by 2. The values of the function and its first 4 derivatives at this point, first 4 derivatives forms are already computed earlier, the same thing we are using. Now instead of putting x equal to 0 there, we are putting now x equal to pi by 2, and we will get f pi by 2 equal to 1, f dash pi by 2 equal to minus 1, f double dash pi by 2 will be equal to 1 and f triple dash pi by 2 will be equal to 0 and f 4 pi by 2 will be equal to minus 3. You can compute that easily from the formula given for these derivatives in the part 1. So, putting these values in 1, we get the desired Taylor's polynomial as p4x equal to this. The plots of this exact function and the polynomial approximation are given in figure 1 and 2. The first figure gives me the approximation over the interval 0.5 to minus 0.5 to 0.5, and the red line gives me the second degree polynomial approximation, and blue line gives me fourth degree polynomial approximation. So, you take first two terms is second degree polynomial approximation, four terms will give me fourth degree polynomial approximation to the original function. You can see that original function almost matches the fourth degree polynomial approximation function. And if you take the second part of the first example and the second degree polynomial, if you take, you can see that second degree polynomial little mismatches there towards the end, otherwise fourth degree polynomial and the original function both match well. If the function f is infinitely differentiable and if nth derivative of f has definite functional representation, then the formula for truncation error can be used to compute the approximating polynomial, which gives the desired level of approximation. This is illustrated in the following example. So, what we are saying is that if the function f is infinitely differentiable, you can take polynomial up to any degree to approximate the function f, and as the degree of the polynomial increases, the approximation goes on improving if the Taylor series converges, and therefore, we can use this to get the desired level of approximation. So, for example, if you take f(x) equal to cos 2x over the interval minus pi by 2 less than x less than pi by 2, compute the Maclaurin's polynomial which approximates f correct to 3 decimal places. So, since nth derivative of f in this case is given by f n x equal to 2 raised to n into cos 2x plus n into pi by 2, the truncation error when f is approximated by nth degree Maclaurin's polynomial approximation is R n equal to 2 raised to n into cos 2c plus n into pi by 2 into x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial for some c belonging to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. In order to approximate f correct to 3 decimal places, one has to find n such that mod R n is less than or equal to 0.001. This yields n equal to 12. We can compute that and you can see that n will be equal to 12. Thus, by 3, that means the formula 3, desired Maclaurin series polynomial approximation is given by f x is equal to k equal to 0 to 12. This is 2 raised to k into cos, that is f k x, the kth derivative of f into x raised to k upon k factorial. So, this is what we are saying, that this is the 12th degree polynomial. If you truncate this to 10, you will get 10th degree polynomial. If you truncate it to 8, you will get 8th degree polynomial approximation, 6 degree, like that you can always get various degrees of polynomial approximations here. This figure 2 gives me the various polynomial approximations to the function. One is the blue line gives me the 4th degree polynomial approximation to the original function. Original function is of course represented by black. Then green gives me the 6th degree polynomial approximation. 8th degree polynomial approximation polynomial is given in blue. 10th degree is given in red and 12th degree given in magenta. So, we can get various polynomial approximations to the function f. Observe that 4th degree and 6th degree polynomial approximation do not match so well, but 8th degree is relatively okay, but 10th and 12th degree match very well and they are in fact almost coincident on f. Note that in the above example, the maximum possible truncation error over the entire interval of approximation has been controlled, and therefore, the value of n, the degree of the polynomial approximating f to the desired level, is likely to increase as the length of the interval of approximation increases. The major limitation of Taylor's polynomial approximation is that it requires the values of the successive derivatives of f up to order n at the point x0. Hence, it is difficult to write a program for implementing this technique unless the nth derivative of f has an explicit functional representation. Time complexity of such a program will significantly depend on how complex are the functional forms of f and its nth derivatives are. Fortunately, Taylor series expansions of some of the standard functions like sin x, cos x, e raised to x, ln 1 plus x, 1 upon 1 plus x, plus or minus x you can say, or as well as are well known in mathematics. Hence, nth degree polynomial approximation to such functions or their variants can be easily obtained by evaluating the nth partial sum of the corresponding Taylor series. For a general function, however, more sophisticated techniques are required. So, approximation by Chebyshev polynomials. The Taylor's polynomial approximation can be viewed as approximation of a function f by a linear combination of the basic polynomials 1 x minus x0 x minus x0 square x minus x0 is to n, that is fx is equal to a0 plus a1 into x minus x0 a2 into x minus x0 square, like that, and the coefficients a0 a1 a2 a3 an are obtained by taking successive derivatives on both the sides, and this is possible as we assume that f is n plus 1 times continuously differentiable function. It is possible to approximate f by a linear combination of some other functions like phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, phi n, which are orthogonal to each other on the interval a b, in the sense that for I not equal to j, a to b phi I x into phi j x w x dx is equal to 0 with respect to some weight function w x. Thus, f x is given by a1 phi 1 x plus a2 phi 2 x plus an phi n x, and the orthogonality property of the functions phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, phi n can be used to determine the coefficients a0, a1, a2, a3, an. There are many choices for the functions phi i's, like trigonometric functions we can use, Legendre polynomials we can use, Chebyshev polynomials we can use, etc., and many more. Bessel functions we can use, for example. In this module, the Chebyshev polynomials are used to approximate f, as these polynomials have many useful properties. Chebyshev polynomials, so first we will understand what is Chebyshev polynomial. For any integer n, the Chebyshev polynomial Tnx is defined on the closed interval minus 1 to 1 as Tnx equal to cos of n into r cos x, that is cos inverse n into cos inverse x. So, cos of n into cos inverse x. If r cos x is denoted by theta, then x equal to cos theta and Tnx equal to cos n theta. This leads to the following interesting properties of these polynomials. Mod Tnx is less than 1, that is why quite clear. T minus nx is equal to Tnx, as cosine of minus n theta will be same as cos n. Now, if you take T0x, so what will be T0x? So, in that case we will be getting here r cos x as pi by 2 n pi by 2, and therefore cos n pi by 2 will be equal to, we will get T0x will be equal to 1. T1x will be equal to x, and Tn plus m x plus Tn minus m x will be equal to what? So, that will be equal to cos n theta plus m theta plus cos n theta minus m theta, and when you add the 2 will get 2 cos n theta into cos m theta, but cos n theta is Tnx and cos m theta is Tmx, and therefore that will be this. So, when you are writing here T0x, we are taking n equal to 0, therefore cos 0 is 1, and when you are taking n equal to 1, I will get T1x, that is cos 1x is equal to x. Fifth property says that this fourth property implies the recursive relationship. If I take m equal to 1, so then in that case Tn plus 1 plus Tn minus 1 will be equal to Tn into T1x, but T1x is x, and therefore I can say that Tn plus 1x equal to 2x into Tnx minus Tn minus 1x. Thus we get T2x equal to 2x square minus 1 using this recursive relationship. T3x equal to 4x cube minus 3x, T4x equal to 8x raised to 4 minus 8x square plus 1, T5x will be 16x raised to 5 minus 20x cube plus 5x, and T6x will be equal to 32x raised to 6 minus 48x raised to 4 plus 18x square minus 1. Note that Tnx is a nth degree polynomial with leading coefficient, that is coefficient of x raised to n equal to 2 raised to n minus 1. The graph of these functions is given in the following figure 3. You can see that these are the graphs of various functions. So, second degree polynomial function, the first degree say 0th degree T0 is 1, so constant, T1x is x, so that is straight line, then second T2x onwards up to T6x are given in this figure, and various colors distinguish between these functions. Now, if you do the reverse exercise, that means from the equations which are given in property 5, we are getting Tnx in terms of powers of x. Now, we will get powers of x in terms of Tnx by combining those equations in property 5. So, 1 is equal to T0x, x equal to T1x, x square will be equal to T0x plus T2x by 2, x cube x will be equal to T3x plus 3 times T1x by 4, x raised to 4 will be equal to T4x plus 4 T2x plus 3 T0x by 8, and so on. So, all these properties you can simple manipulation will give you these properties. So, for orthogonality property we are talking about Chebyshev polynomial. For two integers m and n, minus 1 to n tnx into tmx into 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx is equal to minus 1 to 1 cos n r cos x into cos m r cos x into 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx. Now, if I put r cos x equal to theta in this interval, in this integral, then you will get 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square minus 1 upon under root of 1 minus square dx equal to d theta, and the whole thing will be converted to 0 to pi cos n theta cos m theta d theta. And it is well known that this interval will be equal to 0 if n is not equal to m, and pi by 2 if n is equal to m but they are not equal to 0, and it will be equal to pi if n is equal to m and both of them are 0. Thus, the Chebyshev polynomial Tnx for n belonging to z, the set of all integers, are mutually orthogonal to each other with respect to weight function Wx equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square. This property can be used to represent a function fx defined on the interval minus 1 to 1 by a Chebyshev series like this, a0 t0 x plus a1 plus antnx like that, and the coefficient ak are given by taking integral. So, what you do is, if you want to find out a0, multiply both the sides by t0x and take integral and use the orthogonal property. So, only one first term will survive and all other terms will die out or will be 0, and therefore a0 will be given by 1 upon pi minus 1 to 1 fx into t0x into 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx, because this side will be t0x square and that will be pi, and that you will have to take it on the other side. So, 1 upon pi into minus 1 to 1 fx into t0x upon 1 under root of 1 minus square root of 1 minus x square dx is a0. And similarly, ak will be given by 2 by pi minus 1 to 1 fx into tkx upon into 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx. So, for k equal to 1, 2, 3 onwards, this formula will be valid, and that gives me the Chebyshev series. In order that the Chebyshev series representation of f to be valid, f must satisfy the conditions to ensure that the above integrals exist and finite, and also the resulting series must converge. Existence is necessary, without which we cannot write down those integrals, and finiteness is necessary because each term has to be finite, otherwise we cannot add, and also the resulting entire series must converge in order to this series representation to be valid. In case when the series converges, f can be approximated by nth degree polynomial given by the nth partial sum of the Chebyshev series, and f can be approximated like this by a0 t0 x plus a1 t1 x plus an tnx, where these are given by formulae discussed earlier in 1. The corresponding error is given by Rn equal to n plus 1 Tn plus 1x plus n plus 2 Tn plus 2x and so on. Convergence of the series implies that this Rn tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Now, this example 3 gives me find Chebyshev series representation of fx equal to 3 into arc sin x whole square x belonging to minus 1 to 1. So, by 1 we will get a0 1 upon pi into minus 1 to 1 fx into t0x 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx equal to 1 upon pi into minus 1 to 1 3 into arc sin x whole square into 1 upon under root of 1 minus 1 plus x square root 1 minus x square dx. Putting arc sin x equal to 0, we get a0 equal to 1 upon pi minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 3 theta square d theta, which gives me pi square by 4 for k equal to 1. So, this is for a0x. For k equal to 1, 2 and onwards, if I put fx is equal to 3 into arc sin x square, I will get this integral ak as 2 by pi minus 1 to 1 3 arc sin x whole square into cos k arc cos x upon into 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx. Again I put this value, putting arc cos x equal to theta, I will get this as 2 by pi 3 into pi by 2 minus theta whole square into cos k theta d theta, and if I integrated by parts, finally I will get this integral will be equal to 12 by k square if k is even and 0 if k is odd. So, thus ak will be equal to 12 by k square if k is even and 0 if k is odd. So, thus Chebyshev series expansion of f is given by pi square by 4 into t0x plus 3 into 1 upon 1 square into t2x plus 1 upon 2 square into t4x and so on. In general term will be 1 upon k square into t2kx. So, we have seen here that ak is given by 12 by k square if k is even and 0 if k is odd. Thus, the Chebyshev series expansion of f is given by fx equal to pi square by 4 into t0x plus 3 into bracket 1 upon 1 square t2x plus 1 upon 2 square t4x plus so on 1 upon k square into t2kx plus so on. It is not always easy to determine the coefficients a0, ak using the formula 1, as it may be difficult to evaluate the integrals in the formulae. For some function whose Maclaurin series expansion is well known, first few terms of the Chebyshev series can be determined using Maclaurin's expansion and the property 6 of the Chebyshev polynomial. This is illustrated in the following example 4, which says that determine the first few terms of the Chebyshev series of the function f(x) equal to cos x. The Maclaurin series expansion of f(x) is given by cos x equal to 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x raised to 4 by 4 factorial, x raised to 6 by 6 minus x raised to 6 by 6 factorial, and so on. Now, using property 6, we will express this x square, x raised to 4, x raised to 6 in terms of Chebyshev polynomials, and therefore, we can see that we get cos x equal to t0x minus 1 by 4 into bracket t0x plus t2x plus 1 upon 192 into t4x plus 4t2x plus 3 into t0x minus 1 upon 720 into 32 into t6x plus 6t4x plus 15t2x plus 10 t0x, and then on simplification we will get the corresponding few first 4 terms of the this Chebyshev series for this function. Now, we are going to talk about one of the important properties of the Chebyshev polynomials, and for that we will be discussing what are the zeros and extreme points of the Chebyshev polynomial. Now, since Tnx is equal to cos n theta, where theta is r cos x, for x belonging to minus 1 to 1, it is easy to see that Tnx equal to 0 when n theta is equal to 2 into k minus 1 pi by 2 for k equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. That is, if x equal to xk, which is given by cos of 2k minus 1 pi by 2n for k equal to 1 to 3 up to n. So, we can see here that n theta equal to this, therefore, theta equal to this, and then theta is nothing but x is equal to cos theta, and therefore, we get x equal to xk as the zeros of this polynomial Tnx. Also note that the extreme point or extreme values, that is minimum and maximum values of Tnx are plus or minus 1, because being a cos n theta, and these are attained at Tnx equal to plus or minus 1 if n theta is equal to k pi for k equal to 0, 1 to 3 up to n, and that is if x equal to xk, which is equal to cos of k pi by n for k equal to 0, 1 to 3 up to n. Observe that Tnx takes minimum value 1 if k is even and takes maximum value 1 if k is even and takes minimum value minus 1 if k is odd. Note that both xk and xk dash are in minus 1 to 1. So, here extreme points are denoted by xk dash and the zeros are denoted by xk, and all of them are in minus 1 to 1. So, minimax approximation property we are talking about. So, among all the monic polynomials, the monic polynomial given by Tnx upon 2 raised to n minus 1 has the least maximum on the interval minus 1 to 1. More precisely, if Pnx is any monic polynomial, then 1 upon 2 raised to n minus 1 is equal to maximum of more closely than the green curve, which is the Lagrangian interpolating polynomial on arbitrary nodes. Also using the same property for reducing the degree of approximating polynomial. So, minimax approximation property can also be used to reduce the degree of approximating polynomial with a minimal loss of accuracy. Usually, a function f(x) is approximated by Taylor's or Maclaurin's polynomial of some degree n. As n increases, the accuracy increases, however, the computational complexity also increases. Hence, it is necessary to achieve the desired level of accuracy by using polynomial of degree as less as possible. This can be achieved by approximating an arbitrary polynomial Pnx of degree n on minus 1 to 1 with a polynomial of Pn minus 1 of degree at most n minus 1, polynomial Pn minus 1x of degree at most n minus 1, so that the maximum error equal to maximum Pnx minus Pn minus 1x, x belonging to minus 1 to 1 is as small as possible. So, that means difference between the nth degree polynomial approximation and n minus 1 degree polynomial approximation. So, difference between these polynomials should also be maximum difference also should be minimized. So, note that if n is the coefficient of x raised to n in Pnx, then Pnx minus Pn minus 1x divided by n is monic polynomial of degree n, and hence by minimax property, maximum value of Pnx minus Pn minus 1x divided by mod n interval minus 1 to 1, which is going to be greater than or equal to 1 upon 2 raised to n minus 1, and which is equal to maximum of t n x, the mod of t n x by 2 n minus 1 over interval minus 1 to 1. Thus, if we take p n minus 1 x minus p n x as p n x minus n into t n x by 2, the desired polynomial of degree at most n minus 1 can be obtained. Therefore, if f x is approximated by p n x and the maximum error max of mod p n x minus f x or x minus x belonging to minus 1 to 1 is equal to E, then maximum error between p n minus 1 x and f x is going to be at most E plus mod a n by 2 raised to n minus 1. As long as this new bound is within the tolerance limit, one can keep on reducing the degree of the approximating polynomial. So, therefore, if f x is approximated by p n x and the maximum error max of mod p n x minus f x, x belonging to minus 1 to 1 is equal to E, then maximum error between p n minus 1 x and f x. So, mod of p n minus 1 minus f x over the interval minus 1 is less than or equal to E plus mod n divided by 2 raised to n minus 1. So, as long as this new bound is within the tolerance limit, one can keep on reducing the degree of the approximating polynomial. We will illustrate this in the example 6. Find the 6th degree Maclaurin's polynomial approximation for the function f x over x into e raised to x over the interval minus 1 to 1 and use minimax property of the Chebyshev polynomial to obtain a lesser degree polynomial approximation while keeping the error less than 0.01 on minus 1 to 1. The Maclaurin series expansion of e raised to x is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on, and hence the 6th degree Maclaurin's polynomial approximation of x e raised to x is going to be given by p6x equal to x square x cube by 3 factorial plus x raised to 4 by 3 factorial plus x raised to 5 by 4 factorial and x raised to 6 by 5 factorial. So, we are using Maclaurin series expansion of e raised to x to get Maclaurin series expansion of x into e raised to x, and the truncation error R6x will be given by e cx e raised to cx upon 6 factorial into x raised to 7, where cx is in some point in minus 1 to 1. Therefore, the maximum error, that is maximum of our mod R6x x belonging to minus 1 to 1 will be roughly 0.00378. Now, reducing the degree of approximating polynomial by procedure as discussed above, what we will have to do is see what we need is the approximation error, we want it to be less than 0.01. So, our tolerance limit is up to 0.01, whereas here we have got error 0.00378. So, error is too small as compared to the tolerance limit, and hence we have scope to reduce the degree of approximating polynomial. So, following that procedure we are doing now, p5x will be taking as p6x minus 1 upon 5 factorial into t6x divided by 2 raised to 5. So, we will be considering here 1 upon 5 factorial into t6x like that we are considering, and therefore, we will get the polynomial approximation like this. So, p6x minus 1 upon 5 factorial into 6x divided by 2 raised to 5. So, x plus x square plus x cube by 2 factorial which is plus x raised to 4 by 3 factorial plus x raised to 5 by 4 factorial plus x raised to 6 by 5 factorial minus we get 1 upon 32 into 5 factorial into t6x, which is given to be 32x raised to 6 minus 48x raised to 4 plus 18x square minus 1, and that gives me the polynomial like this: x plus 637 by 640x square plus x cube by 2 plus 37 by 240 into x raised to 4 plus x raised to 5 by 24. So, this is your p5x we get, and as mentioned earlier, maximum error between p5x and fx will be equal to the earlier error, that is E 0.00378 plus 1 upon 120 into 32, and therefore, the total of that will be error will be 0.00404, which is well within the tolerance limit, and hence we can further reduce the degree of the approximating polynomial. So, now again we are taking p4x as p5x minus 1 upon 24 into t5x divided by 2 raised to 4, and on simplification we get, so we get p4x as 379 by 384 x plus 637 by 640 x square plus 43 by 96 x cube plus 37 by 240 x raised to 4, and the maximum error, that is p4x minus fx over the interval minus 1 to 1 will be given by earlier error 0.00404 plus 1 upon 24 into 16, that is equal to, totaling that I will get 0.006644, which is well within the tolerance limit. Further reduction if we do in the degree increases the error to 0.006644 plus 37 divided by 240 into 8, and that will give me error 0.02591, which is beyond the tolerance limit, and hence P4x is the polynomial of least degree which approximates f x to the desired level of accuracy. In this module, we have seen the methods for approximating function which are other than interpolation and curve fitting. Here we are using two techniques for function approximation. One, Taylor's polynomial or Maclaurin's polynomial, and the second, Chebyshev polynomials are used for function approximation. In the first case, we get Taylor's or Maclaurin series approximation, and the truncation error R n we could find out from that. In the second, for Chebyshev polynomials, we have to introduce Chebyshev polynomials, we introduce that, and we have seen several properties of the Chebyshev polynomials. One of the important properties of minimax polynomial property we have considered for Chebyshev polynomials, and its implication in reducing the interpolation error is being illustrated by giving certain examples, and also that minimax property has been used to reduce the degree of approximating polynomial is being used. Thus, in this particular module, we have seen the techniques for function approximation and their implications on reduction of error in the interpolation and their implications on reducing the degree of approximating polynomial has been illustrated.